Dancing on Ice judge Oti Mabuse faced her toughest challenge yet last year when she gave birth to her daughter 8 weeks early and she too fell seriously ill. Now, mum and baby are doing so much better now, and Oti is here to share their story. Please welcome Oti.
Girl.
I know, right?
You look beautiful.
Do you know what I love about Oti, though? We'll get into sort of the birth story from a year ago, but what I've loved on your socials is you've been so honest and open about sort of, it's not about weight loss since having the baby, it's about feeling fit and healthy and strong.
Yeah.
And you've been so open about that. Why was it important for you that people understood that it's not about a weight loss thing, which a lot of women feel like they're under pressure to do? I mean, you look fantastic.
Thank you.
But you've been so honest about the importance.
We're like 3 Spanx right now.
Don't we all?
No, I think when I fell pregnant, I got gestational diabetes. And we have diabetes in the family, and we have gestational diabetes in the family, but I didn't really know what happens after you give birth. So does it go away? Do you have to keep working? And I remember years ago, I used to see pictures of models who would have a baby and within 3 weeks or 3 months, they're like back and they're walking the runway. And I was like, that can't be healthy. I'm in the bathroom, I'm crying. I probably haven't washed in like 2 days. How am I gonna snap back? I know, that's what happens when you have a baby. And I'm just like, how am I gonna snap back? It's so difficult. And my sister and I talk about this all the time. It's really about being healthy. Yeah. And my reason for getting back into fitness was that I found out that I was pre-diabetic, actually. And
really?
Yeah, I am still pre-diabetic. And it's about trying to get back to a point where I feel strong, I can handle my food, my sugar levels are right, and it's not about being skinny, it's about being strong. It's about being able to play with my daughter, and have fun with her. And I love being a little fresh and curvy. I like when I walk and my husband's like,
you are snatched in the right place.
Like I said, 3 Spanx.
Yeah. So there's a lot of health that's mixed into you and pregnancy and birth, and you know, it must have been a shock for you, 8 weeks early when she decided to make her moment.
Yeah, and I was working. I think we were working together. I was working throughout the whole pregnancy, and I felt great. I felt so sultry and sexy. I didn't have to hold my tummy in. I just loved being free. And we were going shopping, my husband and I, and spontaneously, my water just broke. Wow. Just like that, boom. Not even in the shop, not in the car, in the streets, on the way to the shop. And I was like, something's happening, something's happening. And he thought I was joking. He thought I was pranking him. And he's like, it's not funny, it's not funny. And I was like, I'm not telling a joke. But when we got to the hospital, they were so amazing. And I remember the midwives were like, this is okay. It's a bit traumatic. It's going to be scary. We're going to try keep the baby in as long as we possibly can, but we don't guarantee anything. And I gave birth 2 days later. Wow. And it all happened naturally. And I mean, the birth...
You gave birth naturally?
I gave birth, I gave birth. My birthing room, I was singing Chicago the whole time. Honestly, I was like, it was insane. But I remember the experience was, I felt like I had a responsibility to her to make this as fun as possible, to let her come out listening to my terrible singing voice. But once I gave birth to her, that it became a little bit more traumatic.
Because they said you had sepsis.
Yeah, which I also didn't know. Wow. I didn't know. So you have all these things. I had the diabetes. I remember I spoke about I had I had a pelvic pain as well. So turning and getting up and walking was very painful. And then you find out that I had sepsis. It's like one thing over the other. And then she was, I think we spent 10 minutes together, and then she was taken away with my husband and the doctors, and she was in the incubator, and that was the first time we actually saw her. And she was covered up, and she had all these machines, and she had wires, and she had everything covering her face. And I think when you're pregnant, you don't really know about this world.
No.
Yeah.
This premature world. It only comes to light when you're going through it and you go, oh my goodness, the baby's so small. Their skin are so fragile. What do? I don't have Pampers. I didn't have a birthing plan. I didn't have a hospital. It was just me looking like this at the hospital, and everyone was like, "What?" So it was a really, really scary time, and I'm working with Pampers now to talk about just that first experience of being a parent and being in hospital and getting your first nappy. And talking about the nappies that you get, because a normal nappy is for...
Doesn't fit a prem baby,
yeah,
does it?
they're small, they're gentle, they are for the baby. It's when... Literally, it's like when the baby... I dance for her all the time.
How is she now?
And now she's really good. She's so sassy. She gives me so much attitude.
You know, the thing is as well, obviously, it was so traumatic for you, and your husband was there as well. Like, and sometimes the focus will be on the mum. How did it affect you and your husband? Like, what was the conversation you had with each other to support each other through this?
He was amazing. My husband has this... he just has this positivity where he kept saying to me, she's here because she wants to be here. She has that willpower. It will be fine. This is how it's intended to be. She wanted to come out early. She wanted to spend Christmas with us. So I think it was that mental change for me that was like, okay, we're going through this. And I spent 6 weeks in the hospital with other moms who also had prem babies. And I think we formed a community. We're still friends, all of us right now.
There's nothing like a baby to sort of connect people.
Yeah, and all our babies are going through things. You know, some of the moms, the babies have to have surgeries. They're trying to eat. They're trying to learn how to breathe on their own. The kids are literally working hard. And as moms, we just have to be there to protect them.
Absolutely.
Because that's the only thing we can do.
Yeah. There is a question I have to ask, because, your winter might actually be quite warm.
Oh, my God.
Believe. All I'm going to ask Aisha Mabuse is,
I'm like,
are you a fan of the show? Are you a fan of I'm a Celeb?
I love I'm a Celeb. I really do. It's been since I came to the country, I haven't been here that long. It's been one of the shows that I've just watched and been a huge fan of.
And wanted to go on.
I'm going to South Africa where it's warm.
Yeah.
That's where I spend my Christmas.
That's where she's going to hang out. Aisha Mabuse. About the birth stop a chord with you, make sure you check out our website, itv.com/helplines.